What's up, podcast listeners? It's Chase Blanchard, co-host on the Power Move Podcast. Today on episode 5, we have one of my best friends, Tyler Steigelman, owner and creator of Worthwhile brand, on as our first official guest on the podcast. We're super excited about it. So tune in, listen, check the link below, give us a follow, give us a share. We appreciate you so much for listening. And as always, be easy, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we are live
from
from the Shag Carpet Shack here in Columbia, Tennessee. What's up, everybody? We got Chase Blanchard.
We got Doug Lucanen, and this is the Power Move Podcast.
Welcome back to the Power Podcast listeners.
Power! Power!
We're powering you up with the Power Move Podcast. And it's a special week, everybody.
Special.
We got the boy. We got the number one guy. We
myth,
got
the legend.
Big T Sty. Tyler Steigelman.
Drum roll.
The stud.
Tyler Steigelman with the
The Worthwhile brand. With that, I didn't know if that was going to come together
I
very
don't know
well.
if he actually wanted us to do that or not.
He didn't.
I don't care.
But you know what?
I'm all in.
We're happy to have him on the pod. We got some great content coming up, I think. You know.
Oh, we know.
We know. There it is. Oof. We're going to jump right in. We're tapping into them mows of the week. We got our guest here in the Shag Carpet Shack, riding up in his leather throne, the new chair in the Shag Carpet Shack.
Oof.
And, you know, things are looking good. So let's kick it off with these mows of the week. First, the song of the week. I feel like we should pitch it. We should let the guest have the honors.
Let's do it.
Let's dish it out to
Tyler,
him.
Tyler, tell us
Tell
what
the
your
people.
song of the week is. It's going to get you ready and fired up for the week, brother.
Duality by Slim Don.
Ooh.
I've just been bumping it a lot recently.
I knew he was going to go that route.
Wow.
That was good.
That ain't no soft taco.
Man, that makes me want to change my song of the week.
Oof, can't do that.
That's a
You gotta
power
stick with
move.
it. You gotta stick with it.
So I mean, you know, what about that song fires you up? Like, why do you pick that song as your song of the week?
I mean, there's a point in the song, if you ever watched the music video, where like the drum hits and he just like hits the hell out of like a keg and it makes that doom, and that always plays in my head, and the aggression in that little scene just makes me hype. I don't know, but
That's awesome.
I've always listened to the song. I mean, it's been years since like, you know, middle school or whatever, but like I've restarted listening to it and I'm all in.
Isn't that awesome? Like the nostalgia of the old songs. Like I was listening to some things I listened to when I was like in middle school, when I was like first lifting weights and like trying to work out. Very nostalgic. But anyways,
awesome.
Chase, song of the week, brother. Pump it out there.
Well, mine's a lot more mellow, but it's one thing that me and Tyler have been talking about is living in the now. And Kenny Chesney, good artist, country music artist. I really enjoy his music. He actually just released a new song called Here and Now. And it's a song I've been bumping a lot. It's just a good time feeling music. Spring weather started rolling a little bit, so nothing like rolling down the windows, cruising down, listening to a little Chesney. And the song is called Here and Now, and I think that's what we forget to do a lot is live in the now. Don't worry about the past. And don't focus on the future either. Just live in the here and now. So
make those power moves in the power moment.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right. So it's a good feeling song, and got a good meaning behind it. So hey, I'm gonna live in the now.
We're on the 5th episode. I know we've had a lot of songs.
Yeah.
I think I'm about to
soundtrack.
make Power Move podcast history right now.
Do it.
I'm dishing this out here. My song is Stronger by Willa Amai. WILLAAMAI.
I wonder if I know this.
So it's a remake of Kanye West and Daft Punk's Stronger.
Yeah.
But she does it in like a piano, like a recording session, and it's been used on the QuickBooks commercial.
I'm
So
about to use it right. Or look it up.
Willa Amai, yeah, awesome. So our first female artist on the podcast, and females, pump that music because I get hyped to that.
Spell that again.
Willa, Willa, and then Amai is Amai.
Oh, there it is.
Yep, and stronger.
Nice.
Yep.
Ooh, I see a song called "Trampled Flowers."
Whoa, I haven't listened to that one yet.
All right.
I haven't listened to that one yet.
You're getting off.
But it sounds good.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Definitely check her out. When she recorded that song, she was like 13 or 14 too.
Sweet.
And so it was like her breakthrough move. And it's just like a remix of the original Stronger and such a good message. Like it's talking about just like keep improving. Like everything you do. If something's strong, make it stronger. If something's fast, make it faster. If something's, just keep getting better. And it's going to be hard work, but keep working hard.
Oof.
Right.
Boom.
That
Love it.
progression.
Boom.
So that's how it gets me.
So since you're already on the stronger train, why don't you just keep it going strong and tell the listeners, Doug, back to back, we got the song. Now, what's your power move of the week going to be?
So power move of the week. Last week, I was supposed to become Dougie Swolsevelt. Start pumping them weights. Start doing them push-ups. And I did.
Attaboy.
Now, it's a gradual thing. One thing I made a promise about was going to the jiu-jitsu gym. Well, it was closed, so I couldn't go to it
Yep.
for reasons everybody knows about.
We're not going to talk
And
about
it starts with the C word.
We're not going to talk about it.
And it's not a cuss word. So move on from that. But it was closed, but I did my own workouts here in the Shag Carpet Shack, actually.
Attaboy.
I had the dumbbells. I was doing some curls.
You
I
can
was
see-
doing some push-ups. I was doing some crunches. And I've been working out like every other day, just doing my little thing in here. Got my headphones on, bumping. My power move for this week, dude, I'm going to try to be a better person. I'm going to try and be more mindful of the words I use.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to cuss less and
Okay.
calmly use my mind to come up with better alternatives to express my ideas and thoughts.
I love that.
So I've gotten kind of comfortable with cussing a little bit here and there, and I don't feel right in my gut, in myself. I like to be a role model for other people and really just be the best self I can be. And I feel like I don't do it because I run out of words to show how I feel. I do it for like effect, right? And that's like usually the excuse. But honestly, if you're being truthful, that's enough effect, And I feel like it's a way to progress and be my power move of the week. I'm gonna try to avoid cussing as much as possible. So
There you go.
we'll see how that pans out.
You got it, man.
I've tried this before and failed, but hey, life's a journey.
Life's a
Just gotta keep trying.
I like it.
So
Love it.
I think I'm gonna toss it back to you.
Hey, I
Boom.
love it, man.
It's time for your power move.
So my power move of the week, it really kind of resembles yours a lot. When you said you're wanting to be a better, person all around, and my power move of the week is I want to reconnect with and stay connected more with the people that are most important in my life, because we get caught up in the. Like I said, the busy, the tomorrow or whatever, planning for tomorrow. And what I mean by that is, obviously, I got my own house now, so I don't talk to my mom near as much as I need to.
She.
Call mama up.
Shout out, she.
Send her a text, and like on my way over here, I missed your call earlier because I was talking to my uncle at Fort Campbell. Shout out to you, brother. Love you, man. Go Army. So. That's one of those things where, you get so wrapped up in life, you forget about the ones that are actually most special to you and the nearest, dearest. So my power move of the next week is to stay connected with them, just drop them a text, hope they have a good day or something like that, and obviously not only for the next week, but the weeks to come.
Good stuff.
So
Nice.
So what about our special guest, Dougie?
Oh, it's time, man. We're looking for a power move from a power guest.
Power guest.
On the Power Move podcast.
I
So
mean,
here we go.
I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna go the route you went, Chase. Sorry.
Love it.
I mean,
You can call him
Consistency
Chaze.
in the building.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, you guys can hold each other accountable.
There it is.
Boom.
yeah. I mean, I think it's even more like for me, it's the closer intermediate people in my life, family and stuff that I've kind of had reminders that I need to spend more time with, and it's just like whatever that may be, it doesn't matter. Maybe even having lunch. I mean, I'm not gonna say why we can't go out to eat, but we I don't know, even if it's lunch or make something at the house, I don't know, just spend more quality time with the closest people. I mean, I feel like you said, I mean, that stems from a lot, and we kind of get thrown away and focus on our lives and tend to get in our routine and not talk to those people. So I'm gonna make it a power move.
Nice.
Power mindset.
This is like perfect because
I love it.
Listeners, if you took a look at our episode 4, the FOE pod, Family Over Everything pod, this continues that message. You know, squeeze the ones closest to you.
For sure, man. Well, Doug, you want to give a you started off this podcast so strong, so keep it going.
I don't mind.
Officially, invite the listeners into who our guest is and what he's about, and like I said, our very own first official guest on
the Power Move Podcast. Well, we're going to jump right in. Usually we give that pro advice, you know, something from the Chase's side of the fence, something from my side of the fence, and we say, hey, this is how we can help you out. Well, when we have special guests, those special guests let you in on how they got to where they're at.
Their pro.
And the trials and tribulations that they go to and how they got there. And so today we've got Tyler. We've got, Worthwhile brand. He's also a bartender at Southern Tray. We're honored to have him on the show. And what I would like for you to do, Tyler, is share how you got here. And how did you come up with the idea, and why did you want to become an entrepreneur? And just share that with the people, man.
Well, I'm going to say the advice starting right off is self-reflection and being yourself. I mean, I try and preach it every day, but it's something you actually have to work for. I mean, it's something you have to dedicate time to, focus on the inner and outer self. But I mean, about the brand, the brand's called Worthwhile brand, and I've been growing it for the past 4.5 years. It's just a clothing brand that represents you as a person, your self-worth. Never forget your worthwhile and always be yourself. The idea came from reading. That changes your mindset. I read the first book I ever read was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Not the first book I ever read, obviously. As you're a child and stuff like that. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad is the first book when having the grown-up mindset that was able to switch that mindset and maybe realize that there's other things happening instead of just my job that was right there and being a bagger at Kroger and a floor supervisor at Kroger. So it's like that's what stemmed it all. And then I kind of just went on this rant, and I was like, I want to push something, and all I know is Kroger, and that's all I know I can do. So I was going to school to get my business degree to become a manager, and that's all I knew. So I thought that was we graduate, everyone's going off to whatever school they're going to, or they're going to the military, or it doesn't matter where they're going, but everyone seemed like from the outside looking in that they knew exactly where they wanted to go. So I just looked and reflected. I'm like, all I know is Kroger. I've been doing this for 3.5 years.
And you didn't.
Yeah, and it's almost you got to wonder sometimes how much of that plan was their plan, or how much of that was an outside influence. But I don't know. So
yeah, I would say that everybody that has a plan, sometimes plans change too.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. I felt similarly. When I got out of high school, I was like, well, I know I'm going to college, and I know somebody told me I should be an electric mechanical engineer. I realized I hated that, but anyways, continue on your story.
But that's exactly right, though. That someone plants that seed in your head or tells you, and then that's what you just go to, and it's you just stick to the route. I feel like that we feel like is our route. Yeah. For me, I didn't really know my route. Like you said, you knew you were going to go to college. I grew up with my parents kind of just being whatever you do, we're going to support you. They weren't you should go to college, or we think you should. They never even mentioned it. So it was my idea to go to college. I brought it up, but then I also dropped out to push the brand. So it's they couldn't get mad at me or say anything because it was my decision to enroll, and it was my decision to drop out. But that was because of reading the book and progressing. But either way, the book, like I said, made me want to push something, and I had no idea what it was. I thought it was Kroger. Was doing everything I could do for that, and then our friend Harlan started a clothing brand called Modern Hippie. And that started about a year before, I'd say about a year before, like, I read this book. But it was, like, the comparison between, like, man, if he can start something, like, why can't we at the time? Because it was me and
why not us?
Yeah. Me and my group of best friends at the time. And, like, we went on this trip and we were sitting there talking, like what can we do? Or it was really me. Like I said, I was so fired up. I'm like, I want to do something. Like, what can we do? Like, what can we do? Harlan started this. Like, why can't... So, like, we spit a couple names back about a clothing brand, and I mean, I don't know. It started as, like, you know, Benji, or a close friend Benji,
Boss Hog Beeman, baby.
Boss Hog. He originally had the idea of a name called Believe for a clothing brand, and he was like, I already got ideas I thought about in my head, and, like, I was like, yeah, that's awesome, and we started talking about it. But then, like, the more and more we started talking about it, I was like, man, like, that automatically has a religious appeal to it. And there's nothing against religion, but, like, it has that religious appeal. Like, if you look at a shirt that says "Believe," that's what you're gonna associate with. You know, like,
think religion.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like, I at the time was like,
you don't want to write off nobody. What you're saying.
Yeah. I was like, I'd rather be something that could touch everybody versus someone that's, I don't know. So, like, this is a crucial part of the story, but, like, we let that idea go. You know, we talked about that one time on the trip to Holiday World in the car, and it was a great conversation. We let it go. But look how many people have ideas every single day. They let it go. So, like, I personally let the idea go. And then a week and a half later, 2 weeks later, I go over to Benji's house, and he's like, "Worthwhile." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he was like, "That could be the name." And it was like, ever since that moment, like, of, like, Worthwhile, like, I was like, that's actually pretty dope. I mean, like, that's, you know, worthwhile.
Yeah.
You think you already associate with whatever worthwhile. But that started the self-reflection. I mean, I'd say from that point on, like, I'm like, what does worthwhile mean? And then it's like, well, everybody's worthwhile. And it just turns into years, 4.5 years of self-reflection and me trying to learn about myself and flipping switches and reading books, self-improvement books and stuff in order to tell other people how to be better of themselves and more reflective of who they are. So, I mean, that's pretty much like how it started. But, I mean, there's been, 4 years worth of, like, activities and
everything,
and doing the thing. But, like, I mean, that's how it started. The mindset switch.
That's killer, man. So what is kind of the correlation between the message and, the things that you do correlating to clothing, and apparel?
Well, I feel like outside of just clothing and apparel, I guess it's the same word, but fashion in general, I wouldn't say that I'm a designer. Like, I'm not like cut and sew and stuff like that. I mean, I eventually want to get there, but I'm just staying in my lane right now. But I mean, I feel like it's an expression of who you are. Like, you wear clothes that reflect who you are as a person. Like, whether that's a concert T-shirt or, for you, Chase, a Luke Bryan T-shirt. Like, I mean, a sports, jerseys. Like, people represent who they are through their clothes, whether they realize it or not. Even down to a blank tee, a blank white tee.
Yeah.
It's a choice and reflection of who they are, really.
Yeah.
And you choose to wear that shirt. You chose to either buy that. I mean, some stuff's given, but, like, you make the conscious choice to wear something, and it's like,
whenever you wear it, whenever you pick it up and put it on,
like these bird dog shorts that are so comfortable.
No free shout outs.
No free shout outs, I guess. I don't want to pull that from any of those pods, but I will say it does feel nice to lounge around in your bird dog shorts with its built-in nice silky underwear.
You ever had
underlining
bird dog alcohol or liquor?
Oh, I've never heard of that. No.
Yeah, it's a pretty big whiskey.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm talking about shorts. But does sound delicious.
You're looking mighty clean too with that Worthwhile hat on you got right
It's
now.
a slick looking hat.
Don't call them out. Like
I see a few of them. I'm happy to be wearing this Worthwhile hat.
Yeah.
I actually feel completely fashionable right now.
You are.
And I will say it. Look, I am being myself. 100%. I like Worthwhile. My boy Tyler's here. I like Bussin' with the Boys podcast. I got that shirt on.
Amen.
And I like bird dog shorts. And they're on. And it
You're
says,
literally wearing...
I watch podcasts. Yeah. I support local brands. And I like my bottom to be airy
Doggy.
and
There
nice.
you go. There you go.
Anyways,
That's awesome.
continue, sir. You're right on telling the people that like what you wear is a reflection of what you like and who you are. I agree.
So I mean, I guess like with the brand, like mainly, you know, I've come up with a couple designs over the time, but like the main logo is like a smooth cursive font and it says Worthwhile Brand. But like I've been building, instead of trying to build the brand with a bunch of unique different designs and make it a bunch of different designs, I've stuck with the logo and I've built the message of the logo around it.
Nice.
So like you want to wear that shirt because you know what it stands for versus it being a cool design. Yeah, it looks slick, it looks cool to the eye, but like
that.
I've built the when you
The
see
message.
it, you know what it
Message
stands
over-
for.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
so like
the cause,
yeah,
the purpose.
like building the audience, and it's like I'll throw designs out and start going all custom and stuff in a while, but like I'm building the audience, the awareness.
Yeah.
And I want people to know what that logo stands for versus it being, imagine seeing the same brand 5-10 different times in different ways. You wouldn't know like what you wouldn't associate. I mean, you're like you may know it if you already follow it, but like if you see 10 different things instead of the same one 10 different ways, you're not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm getting off track, but like
No,
I'm
you're
losing-
not. No, you're
like,
right
maybe
on
I'm
track.
like stuttering like no. Like, what's going on? But like, so I mean, that's kind of been my goal for the past like time. I mean, just growing the awareness, you know, doing public speaking for it, and growing it word of mouth to the people I meet, and as I be myself, and as my network and my my peers grow. So I mean,
So rather than, you know, the career path of you know, getting a job and doing that deal and you know, riding that out, what made you want to be an entrepreneur?
it was the very first, it's probably cliche, but like I wanted to be able to do whatever I want when I want it.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, you need two things: time and money.
Mm-hmm.
Time is the most valuable thing over money. Money allows you to do things with the time. So
Ooh, I like that.
I feel like being your own, but the end goal with this is that, like, you know, in like high school when like you get filled out these sheets and it's like, what do you like to do outside of school? Like what activities? I always wrote hang out with friends and chill. Like that's what I did. So it's like, I was like, what could I do that's like gonna be beneficial so I can do what I do, hang out with people, and like that be something, you know?
Yeah.
And it all ended up coming full
Make a
circle
living,
back
yeah.
to to the brands. Like I'm literally have to be myself, and as I go wherever I go in life or wherever I associate myself, it's growing because I'm there.
Nice.
So it's like,
You are the brand.
yeah, I mean, but I feel like, honestly, I started thinking this way before I even knew what entrepreneurship was. Like, I learned about the word after, like, I was, like, I started the mindset of it, but, like, after I started, like, hearing about it and reading about it more, I was like, I guess I'm an entrepreneur.
yeah.
Like,
You are.
but
You
I
definitely are.
I
man.
wasn't that, like, 6-year-old kid selling Hot Wheels cars, you know, like, I feel like it's more about the message of it than it is like the money, and I feel
Yeah.
like that's one thing I kind of battle with sometimes is like deciding, like not deciding, but like charging people for a shirt that represents them,
Right.
in a sense. So it's like I've always battled with that, but like people you want to buy it because you like, yeah, it
You wanna
does
support being
represent you,
yourself.
yeah, like so.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's
positivity behind
yeah.
it.
I mean, yeah, and what it stands for. So I mean,
Which supports that self-reflection message.
So you kind of hinted on it a second ago. I know, obviously, Worthwhile brand is, you know, it has an amazing purpose. Real quick, I mean, shout out all your socials. That way, people can check you out on your socials, and because I mean, on all your socials, yeah, and your website, you've got a really super cool, big, a really nice quality size, like almost like a business card, but it defines, it's like the mission statement behind your company. Tell us about the mission statement / like purpose of it.
And where they can go.
And where they can go to find it.
So all the social media is at Worthwhile Brand, you know, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all of it's at Worthwhile Brand. Cool. And then the website's www.worthwhilebrand.com. So like
Awesome.
It's all Worthwhile Brand, so you shouldn't have much trouble with that. But like I mean, you can find the exact message on the About Us page, but it was to sum up the exact message, because I don't have it memorized. And man, I took like 2 months to write it, and once I wrote it, I like never wrote it or read it again. I like to give them away, but like
He really did. He had me like proofread it like
yeah,
10
it was
million
over
times.
and over. But I mean, to sum it up, it's pretty much like it's letting you know that it's a brand that stands here for here to stay. It's not just to come up and go away like wave. Yeah. And it goes into a little bit of detail about like how diamonds are made, and diamonds are made under pressure and heat, and it's like that's what we are. We're all rare diamonds. I mean, that's how valuable diamonds are. People pay millions of dollars for different types of gems and diamonds, and just because it's flashy. But like if you look at a diamond and compare it to yourself, we're the same thing. We're rare.
We're all different.
We're one of one. We're even more rare than a diamond.
Yeah.
So just like a diamond's created under pressure and heat, your life and experience is your pressure and heat, and it makes you who you are.
Yep. That's that nature and nurture concept. You're born 101, and then you're nurtured into being a version of that 101 as well, which makes you even more rare. Dude, that's awesome.
I think it's growing though, not the brand, but like as people grow, like we all start as 101, and for some reason everybody wants to be like everybody else. And like that starts a toxic actually like
more societal pressure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because I mean it's like and I mean it's just like you're always surrounded by it. I mean mainly in like it all starts I feel like in high school. That's when like the real world type vibes always start, like groups and people
Cliques.
start that's where
being different can be scary.
Well, you're just not really starting to you're just trying to identify yourself.
Figure out what.
So you're grabbing onto everything that you see, and what you see is what everybody else has. So
except for Nike Shocks over here.
Yeah.
Yes. Shout out EP1.
Yeah.
Anyways, good. Sorry.
You what I was getting at a second ago too. You mentioned public speaking. So I mean, obviously, Worthwhile brand is a essentially a clothing brand. Apparel, hats, t-shirts, hoodies. Now, you mentioned public speaking, so does it go, obviously it goes beyond just apparel? I mean, what's some of the things, beyond apparel that Worthwhile brand does?
The message. It's the message. The clothing's just the representation of the message.
Okay.
And I feel like that I can, as a person, verbally explain and get in detail like what I mean about and what the brand stands for easier and reach a way better audience. I mean, like anybody can see the shirt, anybody can look it up on social media, but to hear me speak about it and hear me go into detail about I don't even know how the word I'm looking for, but like the theorizing of the brand, the concepts behind it. It's not. There's so much more to it, and like you don't really get it if you just look at the logo. So like the speaking's just it's kind of become its own avenue. I mean, when I do speak, I spoke at like EA Cox for the anti-bullying campaign and
what's that
Boys and Girls Club, Murray County, and a couple other little small ones. But I mean, when I do speak, wherever I speak at, I usually talk about, like I said in the beginning, like the ideas. Like everybody has ideas, but nobody capitalizes on them. So talk about leadership. That you see all these powerful leaders and everything throughout history and currently in midday or modern day, but like, before you can lead anybody else, you got to lead yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
I mean, and that goes in all aspects. I mean, I feel like spiritually and work ethic. I mean, personality. I mean, you got to lead yourself before you can even come close to imagining the lead. I mean, just look at a quarterback. I mean, like, you think they're just focused on leading the team and not thinking about themselves? I mean, they got there by getting them, getting themselves there.
By
the dedication.
Their own art.
Yeah, I mean, like, exactly. So I mean, like, I feel like it's more of like a living example.
Yeah, a lot more to share with your team. Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, and thinking about that is with experiences. You get older, I don't want to say like go through things, but you also get affected by things.
Yep.
And as you get affected by things, like Tyler said, it molds you into who you become. There are good things and bad things that happen to you. You're like, oh, that was a good thing. I'm gonna keep doing that. Oh, that did not turn out so good. I should not do that again. So it molds you into who you're gonna be. And that's the nurture side of it. And then, but also like embracing who you're born as. Like, not being ashamed of who you are.
Right.
I think
Or
that gets
what
lost.
You believe in, or what you like, or and stuff. And
that's a good message, dude.
Because I think that's what he was talking about is, if you, I don't know, just love purple shoes and want to wear purple shoes every day. Well,
it.
Society is probably going to tell you that that's not cool. Like, that's not the end thing, right? But if that's what you believe in, and that's what you love, and that's what makes you happy and gives you, enjoyment every day, because, man, like you said, life's too short, man. Like, you need
to worry about
things like that. Yeah, you need to be as happy as you possibly can and spread light and positivity. So, man, if wearing purple shoes every day makes you happy, cuzzy, go on with it, man.
Well, and I feel like the Power Move podcast and Worthwhile, they share a lot of the same message right there, So I love it. Anything else before
you're making a power move by being yourself. Ooh.
Boom. Mind explode. Man, put that into your fleshy mind box, listeners. Let that enter the gray matter. Lock it away forever.
Can we trademark that hashtag or something?
I don't.
Nope.
Tyler says, "Boys, I got my attorneys on it. I'm gonna
already have a trademark.
I've got the check cut and it's in the mail.
Yeah,
it's done. It's happening.
Yeah,
the state approved it.
Well, hey, before we kind of talk about anything else, that's actually a good point. That he just made a very great point. He's not kidding. Like, Worthwhile brand is trademark. So dab a little bit into, you said, a little bit ago that you didn't really kind of see yourself as an entrepreneur, and you didn't really see this, your brand is, you kind of, like you said, you kind of felt bad for charging people for shirts because you're trying to, give them self-reflection and, positivity and a mindset of being themselves, right? So, obviously I feel like we're really great friends, and we have been for a long time since our school days. But I've watched you in your growth in these since you started, period. But you've hit a major growth in your brand. I truly believe, and a lot of people probably do as well. Even just in the last year, the last 12 months, and you mentioned it, trademark. Kind of take us through. What's kind of been some challenges as a young entrepreneur at 23 of doing real things, like actually going to an attorney or a lawyer and getting in trademarks, and some of the challenges that you faced of kind of adapting that mindset of being an entrepreneur and being a legit business
and evolving it.
Yeah. What's kind of, take us, you got some stories or something to shed on that?
I got a trademark story. A trademark story, yeah. Like I said, it started as me and two best friends, Benji and Spencer, and over time, we kind of separated. Not like anything like, oh, why'd you do this type stuff. It was just kind of like our paths grew separately, and eventually got to the point where we had a serious talk, and I was like, well, what are we gonna do, pretty much, and they got handed over to me. But prior to that, we all three applied for a trademark for the brand, and we did it through, you probably see all the commercials, but LegalZoom.
Yeah.
And at the time, this is kind of reflects of not really taking it serious. We all filled out the paperwork. We split the fee or the application cost it did. I don't even remember how much it was. Now it's probably $270, something like that. I don't remember. But we did it. A month and a half later, we had this talk. We all split up, and then we're all still close friends. It's not like we ended our entire life relationship. Right. It's just the business of it. But I started sitting there thinking, and I was once it was just me, and I had to step back and think about it's all me. If I don't do it, it's not gonna become anything. Yeah.
It's either gonna succeed or it's gonna fail on the hand, on the shoulders of yourself.
Of T-Sty.
Yeah.
You said Big T.
Big T.
Sweet T.
Big T-Sty? I don't know. I like just Big T.
Yeah. Wait on the
You think that's good?
Almost yeeted so hard I spit on my elbow. Yeet! There we go. Anyways, good. Stolen.
He said Big T. Oh, yeet.
Whoa.
Big yeet.
Hey, Big Yeet for Big T. Yeah.
No, but so after realizing it's on me, I was like, all right, so if this is a business, I have a trademark, and then I was like, wait a minute, and I don't even have a piece of paper or anything that I have to show somebody this is trademark. So I started looking into it and researching, and it turns out months before this split happened and stuff, we had a flag on our trademark that said that there is a market similarity between a phrase that a clothing store in New York trademarked called "worthwhile ... worth style," and it was flagged, which was also ended up being a blessing in disguise. But it was flagged, and it was. I mean, once I looked that up, two options are to try and fight it or let it die. And I was like, so I called this lady, and I was like, so I mean, like, what could I do? And she was like, I mean, your options are to try and fight and prove that there's not market similarity between it. And like in my head, I'm like, this is dumb. Like, it's Worthwhile brand and Worthwhile ... worth style. I mean,
they're two different.
Yeah,
things.
I mean, like,
Totally two different.
yeah. So like, I don't know, but at the time, you know, like once I started looking into it, we had already split. So like, I started even really thinking. I was like, I mean, it's kind of dumb to get everybody back together, and then I just made a decision on my own to redo it under my name. And I met with the U.S. Trademark and Patent Office attorney, or ex-attorney. He used to work there, and he does his own, like, I wouldn't be freelance, but his own work, his own practice now.
Yeah.
But I mean, I paid $600 to meet with him, and I paid the application fee myself, and it was money that, you know, I've worked and saved for, and I got the application turned in, and it was approved.
How long did it take to be approved?
It was
Boss move.
Boss move, power move.
Power move.
So, how long did it take to get the
I
app
don't
back?
remember, but
Get that
it
app
was,
back.
It was like 4 years ago. So I mean, like,
So it took 4 years. No, just kidding. Just kidding.
It was probably like 2 months.
2 months.
Yeah.
That's a
But the
pretty
key
long time.
is to think about this too. Is that the first time we applied for it by trying to trademark the letters and the words Worthwhile brand. And the second time around, we put it in as the logo. And that makes all the difference in the world. 'Cause you're trademarking the logo, which is still the words, but not the actual words. So like,
Key tip. New people trying to
advice.
get a trademark from this pro advice right up in here. Tyler, say it again for the people.
you can trademark words, which is very unlikely because everybody uses the same words, or you could trademark the logo, which is the words in a logo.
Boom.
Zing.
Boom.
Pow. Pie-yow. Pew.
He said,
There's Brat, pop, pop,
Logo.
logo. Not high go. Logo. Bam. So there you go. Boom.
So
Low-
like you said,
low, slow.
trademarking.
Low and slow, baby.
Trademarking, and now
Like that,
looking
cute.
at it as a legit business, right? I mean, you've now met with like some business consultants, right? And really kind of looking at it more of a business first, but still trying to obviously keep the 100% message behind it.
yeah. I mean, I think I'm more so looking at it now as a business, like more so as far as like, you know, I mean, I have an accounting place now, and I'm keeping track of my taxes. I'm an LLC, like all that stuff is.
Nice.
It's becoming. I mean, it's been in the works for a while now, but like I'm changing the instead of. I mean, I'm always gonna grassroots like grow it. I mean, that's how I've grown it. It's grassroots, like handshaking, meeting people.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I need to step in more into the online world that we live in this day and age, because like you can reach those people
Right.
virtually, and still I just have to fuse me meeting people with the brand on social media.
Make that
Awesome.
Yeah.
authenticity come across.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a tough thing to do. You know, people think that that's easy. You know, if you say something online, it can come off completely different than what you mean, even though the words are the words, right? But you can't see faces. You can't tell pitch of voice. You can't, you know, there's a lot of things you miss when somebody's not right there. So, but
And bitch, like the simple fact of shaking someone's hand. I mean, like, you know, I said I bartend as well, and like, if I give someone great service, and I choose who I shake their hand, but it's the majority of the people. But like when I hand somebody their check at the end, I shake their hand, appreciate it, y'all have a good night, and that usually, you know, bumps it up a couple percent. I mean,
Tyler, as a bartender,
Yeah, as a bartender, for sure.
when do you cut somebody off? I think that's a good question to answer.
Ooh.
that's a
Have you
touchy.
ever cut somebody off in your career?
Twice.
Really? And
Yeah.
how long you been serving?
Sorry
now?
for both times.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Stop.
My bad. It wasn't.
I've been
it wasn't me.
bartending for over a year. But
I ordered too many apps.
I've been serving, but it's a touchy subject.
Oh, sad.
Not necessarily to me, but like
Probably that person.
if someone's to the point where they need to be cut off, they're not going to be not going to like to be told that they're getting cut off.
Oh, nobody
of
ever
course.
is.
So was it the same person twice, or
There's two different. I don't remember the first scenario. I just remember saying, but then this other guy,
They weren't happy about it, though.
No.
What you're saying. Of course.
But the second person, I remember he'd come in, had a couple beers, a liquor drink, left, came back, completely trashed.
Wow.
And I was like, he was ordering drinks, and like I was just like, I'd come up and talk to him, like, dude, I can't, like, you're clearly messed up, and like he was like, what the hell? And then he'd forget, and then order again, and I'd be like, and it just kept going until thankfully he had an Uber. So
Nice.
he
In
Ubered.
Columbia?
Yeah.
Guys,
Stepping up.
was
their
he
game.
heading to Nashville? Because that's a $50
No.
drive right there. Just letting you know I've done
But
that.
it's just that there's just a weird gray area between
No,
like.
Well, that's awesome.
When in
because,
doubt-
I mean, that's a hard decision. That you
I mean,
have
I
to
could cut. I have the option to not even serve you. Like
Yep.
whether you drink or not, I could just tell you I don't want to serve you.
Everybody
it's my
likes having a
obligation,
good
like,
time. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Like
there's a
you can come
line.
in there and just be like, I'm sorry, I don't want to serve you. It's up to me, but it's just people take it really personally.
Right.
Yeah, and I could see why they would. It's like they think they're good, right? They always think everybody's always good,
Yeah.
right? And then the bartender, and it's not that they don't disagree. It's not that they disagree with you. It's more like that they feel maybe
Insulted.
a little
Insulted.
embarrassed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like when in doubt, Uber out.
Oof.
Drink
If
safe,
you need-
drink responsibly.
If you need to head to the house, grab a cab, grab something.
Yeah.
Call your buddy.
Walk.
Call your neighbor.
Walk.
Probably call your wife if you got one. Figure it out. If your wife's there, maybe call that Uber.
Yeah.
Find a way home. Be careful.
So you don't need to be young and make stupid mistakes. And
Tyler, is there anything you want to leave the listeners and the Power Move podcast with? Is there anything you want to say before we close out this episode, brother?
I think the first thought comes to mind is I want your first thought to be you can. Whatever it goes
you
to,
can.
you can. Just simply think that, but don't just simply think that. Say it. Look
I
in the
like
mirror. Self-reflect. But always be you.
Nice.
love it.
Love it.
Attaboy.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Tyler, big shout out to Worthwhile brand.
Yep.
Spit out your socials for the people so that they know where to go to find your stuff.
More importantly, shout out the Power Move Podcast.
Ooh.
Attaboy. Hey, yeah.
That was
Shout out
slick.
to socials, man. We appreciate you so much. Guys, again, Tyler Steigelman, Worthwhile Brand, Columbia, Tennessee.
Boom.
Great message, great meaning behind it all. Go follow him, buy some apparel, support your local guy. Tyler, send it off here, bud. Where can they find you?
You can find everything at Worthwhile Brand or worthwhilebrand.com. Or if you want to follow me, my Instagram is primarily where I want you to go. No, but that is my last name, Steigelman, Steigelman. And I'll follow you back.
Awesome.
Nice.
Love it.
Beautiful.
Love it, man.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Jumping on the Power Move podcast. I hope we powered you up today. And we'll see you next time on the Power Move podcast.
Be you.